You're watching a brand new Sports Fusion episode. My name is Alex Fuse. Thank you for tuning in. We got a big show for you tonight. We got Rodger Wyland, who works at News Channel 13 here in upstate New York and Albany. And we also have Duffy, who is the New England Patriots beat writer for MassLive.com. It's a big show, so thank you for tuning in. The first guest on tonight's big Sports Fusion episode is once again Rodger Wyland. So Rodger, how are you doing tonight?
Alex, I'm doing great, man. I know you are too, and show sounds awesome, and thanks for having me back on again.
Yep, no problem, anytime. So I know you were good friends with the former New York Giants head coach. So what are your thoughts about the new hiring of this new head coach for the New York Giants?
I think it could be good. That's kind of dodging your question. It's too early to tell.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of high praise from Eli Manning. He's done a really good job as the offensive coordinator. And, you know, he's well sought after by a number of coaches around the league, including Mike McCarthy, who he coached with for many years in Green Bay. So he has all the credentials. How he handles being the head coach as opposed to the assistant coach, time will tell. But I think the Giants played a little bit safe here. They stayed in-house, and they really felt like they wanted to maybe cater a little bit to Eli Manning, who gave Ben McAdoo a big vote of confidence. So we'll see how it plays out. But I do have I am a little surprised that they didn't go with somebody with head coaching experience.
But do you think it could also help the Giants to get a fresh coach out there?
Yeah, I mean with McAdoo, yeah. I mean, look, one thing we know: the offense wasn't the problem last year.
Yeah,
offense was good, and so Ben McAdoo is not going to change. Whoever becomes his offensive coordinator, I think they're close to naming one here, the offense is going to remain the same. They're not going to have to change and learn a new system. I think that was a big part of hiring Ben McAdoo. And the Eagles were going to hire him. I mean, he was going to Philly. The bottom line, Philadelphia was ready to hire Ben McAdoo. And the Giants knew that, and they had nobody else that they interviewed with head coaching experience that they were overwhelmed by. So they said, you know what? Let's get Ben McAdoo and hire him and give him the job, and that's what they did. But it is a little bit of a gamble, and we'll have to see how it plays out. But I'm hoping for the best.
So switching gears to the playoffs in the NFL, the New England Patriots. So what are your thoughts on the Patriots this past season?
You know what? A little bit up and down, and they've had so many injuries. But as always, they seem to rally at just the right time when the playoffs are rolling around. And I watched them last week against Kansas City, and I said to myself, boy, this looks very familiar to the teams we've seen in the past where they had a week off, they prepared well, Gronkowski's 100% healthy, Edelman's back in the lineup, Brady looked razor sharp, and it'd be the Kansas City team that had won 11 games in a row. And here they are to the AFC title for the 5th straight year. So I think New England's going to win the game on Sunday. I think they're an overall better team. I think Brady is playing better than Peyton Manning, and I think the Patriots are going to go back to the Super Bowl. I would not be upset if Peyton Manning won this game for Denver because, you know, this is probably his last year, and I think he's the sentimental choice. If you're not a New England fan, you're probably rooting for Peyton Manning to play well. He's a good guy. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He won one Super Bowl. You'd like to see him maybe get a second ring. So if it's Denver, I'm okay with that. But if I have to make a pick, and that's what we do in our business, we take picks, I'm picking New England to win on Sunday.
So do you think the Patriots can win back-to-back Super Bowls if they do beat Denver?
Sure, I think they can. I kind of feel like this is Cam Newton's year. You know, he's been so good all year long, and I think I don't think that game's going to be that close. I think they will handle Arizona. You know, I've got that one in like the 31 to 20 range. I think they're double digits better than Arizona. I don't know that Carson Palmer. He's not been in this big spot before, but I think Cam Newton's and Carolina they've been so good all year long. So I think that'll be a great Super Bowl. Brady against Cam Newton, and I'd give Carolina a chance to win that for sure. But yeah, New England, so much experience, and the fact that they're healthy now, and Gronkowski looks phenomenal out there, and their defense is better than you think. That's the thing. People say that New England's not any good defensively. They are better than you think defensively.
So your prediction for the Super Bowl matchup will be the Panthers versus the Patriots?
That's what I'm going with, Alex. How about you?
I think that was my pick at the beginning of the playoffs. So I think the Patriots are going to win about 31-20 against Denver this weekend. So.
All right, so we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I guess we'll both be held accountable for our predictions when this weekend is over.
Okay, Rodger, thank you for coming on this Sports Fusion episode once again.
Alex, thank you for having me, and keep up the great work.
Okay. Guest on tonight's big Sports Fusion episode is Devin Duffy. He is a New England Patriots beat writer. So, Mr. Duffy, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well, Alex. Thanks for having me.
So, most of the Northeast here doesn't give the Broncos much of a chance in this game. What areas can the Broncos beat the Patriots to come out on top?
I think Denver basically needs to do a few things. They need to run the ball well, because I think that's realistic against the Patriots. I don't know if it's realistic for them to throw it well and score 28, 30 points, because they really haven't thrown it well all year with Manning at quarterback. They need to force a few turnovers, probably, give themselves a short field, and they need to kind of either get in Brady's face and to force those turnovers and provide some pressure up the middle, or do the opposite and drop 8 guys and rush 3 and hope to kind of fluster the Patriots' offense that way. So there's a lot of things that are going to have to go in their favor. I kind of agree with you. I don't really give them much of a chance, even though they're at home. Weird things do happen, though, in championship games, especially when you're playing at home. So you never know. But I'd say multiple turnovers would be the biggest factor for me.
So before the season started, I had 2 players that I didn't give much of a chance or confidence as I do now. Number 1 is Malcolm Butler. Yes, he made the Play of the Year last year in the Super Bowl, but I wasn't sure how he was going to do this year. Were you confident about him being a big-time player this season?
Job as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Butler's every bit deserving of the Pro Bowl nomination that he got. He's had some tough assignments this year. You would know in New York after that 87-yard touchdown to Odell Beckham, he did a pretty spectacular job on Beckham, which is probably the toughest cover in the NFL. So he's got a tough one this week too. Manuel Sanders is a guy he's seen twice in his career, and I'd expect Logan Ryan to be on Demaryius Thomas. But to answer your question, I think he's really surpassed all expectations.
And the second player is Julian Edelman. Okay, I know he was great, but after his ankle injury, the team's offense slowed right down. So do you think the Edelman injury was that big of a factor?
I mean, Edelman's injury definitely impacted the way they could play offense. Patriots like to really get the ball out quickly in like less than 2 seconds sometimes. So when they had Edelman and Dion Lewis and Danny Amendola healthy in weeks 1 through 9, they basically were rolling everybody, just playing that style of offense. No one, honestly, came close to really stopping them. Once Edelman went out, they couldn't play the exact same way, and I think some of the flaws on the offensive line were exposed because Tom Brady had to hold the ball a little bit longer because his receivers who he was trying to throw to, they didn't get open as quickly as Edelman got open. And then he comes back against Kansas City, and you kind of see them revert to the offense they played before, the type of style where they're, Brady's in the shotgun with 4 or 5 wide receivers, and they're just kind of distributing the ball all across the field. So Edelman, if anyone ever doubted Edelman's value to the team, I think the stretch without him and versus that playoff game with him, that pretty much answers the question.
So this year was a year of injuries for the Patriots. Have you heard any news about Jamie Collins, Dante Hightower, and Matthew Slater?
Matt Slater practiced today with a shin injury, so not sure what his status is for Sunday, but it's always a good sign that he's back on the practice field on Thursday. Jamie Collins has not missed a practice, but reportedly, according to Comcast Sportsnet up here, Collins' injury is the most serious of the group, and I'm not sure if he'll be in jeopardy to not play on Sunday. He'll definitely, if he's able to go, he's certainly going to go. They're not saving him for anything.
Right.
And then with Hightower, he's kind of been battling the knee injury since week 12 at Denver. He suffered an MCL sprain in that game. He's been in and out a little bit. I mean, they rested him in week 17, which gave him 20 days between games, and
definitely looked a little bit better in the divisional round than he did in Week 16 against the Jets when he really wasn't moving particularly well. So it's really key. I'm sure the knee is not 100%, but given the rest he had, I mean, it's got to be better than it was at the end of the regular season.
Mm-hmm. So if Slater can't go on Sunday, does this hurt the special teams?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, because he's one of the best in the league, one of the best gunners in the league. Yeah, it'll have an impact. I don't know overall in a game how much of an impact. You know, it's not like he's playing quarterback or wide receiver. Like, he's only on the field for a finite number of snaps in a game, so it'll hurt, but it won't be something that they can't overcome.
Right. So last question here is my prediction for this game is 31-17 Patriots. So what is your prediction for this big game?
Oh man, that's a good one. I actually haven't come up with an actual score yet. I'm not going to steal yours, but I'm going to go something probably similar. I'm going to say, give me Patriots 27, Denver 17. Probably a 10-point game. 27-17 Pats. That
sounds good. So if the Patriots do win here, do you think they will face the Panthers in the Super Bowl?
Kind of. I'd like them to play. I kind of like Arizona's team. I think it would be a fun matchup. Arizona throws the ball pretty well vertically. I think that they could score some points against the Patriots. I think it would be a fun game. Unfortunately, given the way both teams are playing, Arizona kind of struggled in that game against Green Bay. They really could have lost it. Maybe should have lost it. And then Carolina's just rolling. So I guess I'll reluctantly pick Carolina, although I'd like to see the Patriots-Cardinal matchup.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Duffy, thank you for joining me on the Sports Fusion episode.
Hey, no problem, Alex. Thanks.
Thank you for watching this big Sports Fusion episode. Once again, my name is Alex Fuse. You can find me on Twitter at sports_fusion and also our new website at sportsfusion.com. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for Rodger and Mr. Duffy for coming on this show. And I will see you on Monday.